Serious questions are asked of Klopp. Verratti's next to charm Messi. Dortmund could lose big this summer. A transfer roundup and today's Emoji Mondays all coming up in the next few minutes. As I'm your host, Matt Froelich. You are the OneFootballers, and this is the Daily News. So first up, and according to a few pundits, namely Jamie Carragher, serious questions are to be asked of Jurgen Klopp and his reign at Liverpool at the moment. Yesterday, it was 3 losses at home on the bounce as they were torn apart by Manchester City. Alisson will not want to watch that game again. He had an absolute shocker to proportions I can't even describe. Like, this is Karius and Adrian levels of terrible. He had an awful game and Manchester City profited fully from that, as well as missing a penalty. It means that Liverpool have lost 3 games at home in a row for the first time since 1963 and for the first time ever in the Premier League. My question is, Jurgen Klopp just does not seem to be getting the tactical selection right. He had 2 centre-backs on the bench. Yes, they weren't necessarily the most experienced, but they're still senior centre-backs, and he's still playing Firmino and Jordan Henderson. Now, not only would the centre-backs actually be able to play a little bit more defensive in their central role, but it would also then mean that Firmino and Henderson were allowed to move into the midfield. The likes of Thiago doesn't seem to be settling in so well. Gini Wijnaldum sometimes runs around like a bit of a headless chicken and doesn't always have the best of games. And it would mean that Henderson's influence from midfield is once again at the forefront of everything Liverpool do. There just seems to be such a disconnection in the midfield that you can't help but think Jurgen Klopp needs to put a centre-back in a centre-back role. This actually goes back to a discussion I was having with someone last week who said, Matt, you know nothing. Ben Davies has been brought in, he'll be right into the first team squad. And I was like, no, he's going to be on the bench. And look where he is. He didn't even make the bench yesterday. Honestly, I think Klopp has a few decisions to make, but we'll stick away from the negative and go to the positive, which is Manchester City. 14 wins in a row, the best ever run of Pep Guardiola's career, and Phil Foden. My God, England have such a super talent on their hand. I honestly, when I watch Foden, I feel like we've loaned him from Spain or something. Like, you just kind of watch the way he plays and you think, he can't be English. The way he moves about, his silky touch, his dribbling, his speed, his vision, all for such a young player. He just can't be English. He's the least English footballer I think I've ever seen. And that last goal was an absolute beauty as well. Anyway, it means that Manchester City are now 5 points clear at the top of the league, and Liverpool's title retention is looking highly unlikely. They're not even close. Manchester City are 5 points clear of Man United, who could have closed the gap just a little bit on Saturday evening, but decided to throw it away in the very last minute to Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Everton. United were so comfortable at one stage and just completely blew it. Honestly, that's not a very good look. Elsewhere in the Premier League over the weekend, there was a great win for Aston Villa. Steve Bruce managed to get 3 points for Newcastle United, and Thomas Tuchel continued his brilliant start at Chelsea with a 3rd win out of 4 as they won 2-1 away at Sheffield United. Up next though, and Marco Verratti is the latest player to have more than a flirty glance towards Lionel Messi. Leandro Paredes has said it, Angel Di Maria has said it, and now Verratti says that he would love Messi to join PSG and he'd love to play alongside the Argentinian wizard. He didn't say wizard, that's just the word I have to in there. Anyway, Verratti was speaking after PSG's 2-0 victory over Marseille, a managerless Marseille, which takes them to within 3 points of league leaders Lille. Mauricio Pochettino hunted down his first ever title, and, well, he's got quite a few good players to help him along the way, even without Neymar on the pitch. Kylian Mbappe managed to grab the first goal, and there are rumours that he could follow suit following Neymar by signing a contract extension with the French club. But who knows what on earth is going to happen there. As for Lionel Messi, he was on the bench, came off the bench, and then within 3 minutes bagged a great goal against Betis. In the end, Barcelona managed to win 3-2, and it now means they've had about 6 wins on the row, I believe, and they maybe, just maybe, have an outside chance for La Liga title this season, although Atletico Madrid are looking absolute fire at the moment. Next up then, and to Dortmund. We spoke last week, actually, I mentioned it here, about the potential of Jadon Sancho moving to Manchester United, because that's all that anyone ever speaks about when it comes to Dortmund transfer news. But there are some rumours that they could be losing quite a few more players, although one of them isn't Erling Haaland. Certainly, they'll be willing to hold on to their striker a lot more than they would a few other players that could be leaving. Those other names are Gio Reyna, Rafa Guerreiro and Julian Brandt. If you couple the fact that Dortmund are apparently losing around 75 million during the pandemic and the fact that it looks like they might not get Champions League football this season, they're going to be down quite a lot of money and they're going to need to raise some funds, especially if they need to go out and buy some more players to then go and attack the Champions League next season, certainly the Champions League spots. Anyway, if they end up selling Guerrero, Brandt and Reyna, they'll definitely make a lot of money. If you add on Jadon Sancho on top of this, that's a ridiculous amount of money. That'll cover all their losses and then some, so you can expect a rather busy summer at Dortmund. As for Erling Haaland, yes, like we've mentioned a million times, apparently the release clause doesn't come into play until next summer, so if they wanted to sell him too, they could probably get another 100 million or so. Next up then, a quick run up the rest of the weekend's news that you might have missed, and because of COVID restrictions, Liverpool are going to have to play their away game at Leipzig in the last 16 of the Champions League in Budapest. Elsewhere, and UEFA have apparently asked the Romania FA whether or not Bucharest is able to host the last 16 tie between Chelsea and Atletico, again due to more COVID restrictions. Elsewhere, Sergio Ramos is going to be out for about 2 months, meaning his contract will probably be put on hold until the summer. And lastly but not least, talking about Atletico Madrid, they're interested in bringing in Frankfurt striker Andre Silva, who currently has 17 Bundesliga goals this season. Okay, next up then, and a quick roundup of the rest of your Friday feels. This is where you guys left your Football League predictions in the comment section on Friday's Daily News. First up, Aussie FC somehow guessed that Manchester City would win 4-1 at Liverpool. ABCD, fantastic YouTube name there, guessed that PSG would run out 2-0 winners away at Marseille. And George Parsons guessed that Youssef En-Nesyri would continue his fine form by grabbing a goal for Sevilla against Getafe in the victory. They did 3-0, and Papu Gomez also got on the score sheet. Finally then, Emoji Mondays. This is where we all want football throw a couple of emojis down over some of the weekend's football. First off, the best player, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. He still got it. 2 goals at the weekend meant that he now has 501 club career goals. An insane achievement. At age 39, he's still doing it, and honestly, hats off to him. He scored the first 2 goals in a fantastic 4-0 win for league leaders AC Milan. Next up, and the craziest moment, Thomas Souček's red card for West Ham. Oh guys, watch the replay. It's clear that there's such minimal contact. He's not moving to elbow Alexander Mitrovic. He talked to him afterwards. He said it was nothing, and still the referee went to VAR, went to the TV, took the longest time in the last minute, and then gave a red card for just absolutely nothing. It's pathetic. Everything's about it pathetic. English referees are definitely not having a good time of it at the moment. And lastly but not least, the best result of the weekend was Tigres, the Mexican side who beat Palmeiras 1-0 to be the first ever Mexican side to make it to the final of the Club World Cup. For all intents and purposes, they'll probably be meeting FC Bayern there next week. That's all from me then. Make sure you guys let me know your Emoji Mondays down below. Check out everything else you got going on, and until next time, I'll see you guys later.